The aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt is currently operating in the Pacific Ocean, and from the looks of it, the Big Stick is one of the most well-protected warships in history. USS Roosevelt and its crew of 5,000 is currently being escorted by no less than 6 guided missile cruisers and destroyers, each packing nearly 100 missiles. The Big Stick reinforces the notion that the U.S. Navy is, ton for ton, the largest and most capable Navy sailing today. A USS Carrier Strike Group, CSG, typically consists of an aircraft carrier, 1 guided missile cruiser, and 2 or 3 guided missile destroyers. The cruiser is the main escort, coordinating the defense of the aircraft carrier, particularly against aerial threats. Lurking somewhere nearby is a nuclear-powered attack submarine, protecting the rest of the strike group from subsurface threats. The Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group is unusual because of the large number of escorts. The cruiser is USS Bunker Hill, the oldest of the Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruisers. Bunker Hill is equipped with the Aegis combat system, including the Spy-1 air defense radar, and is equipped with 122 vertical launch systems. Each VLS is an armored silo capable of carrying SM-2, SM-6, and ESSM air defense missiles, Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, and anti-submarine rocket torpedoes. The 5 destroyers are all Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers: USS Pinckney, USS Russell, USS Paul Hamilton, USS Kidd, and USS Rafael Peralta. USS Russell and USS Hamilton are the oldest ships and were built at a time when the Burke-class ships did not have hangars to embark helicopters. USS Rafael Peralta is one of the newest ships in the fleet. Each of the 5 destroyers is equipped with 96 VLS silos for a total of 468 silos spread out among the destroyers. In addition to the escorts, USS Theodore Roosevelt's Carrier Air Wing brings 44 FA-18E-F strike fighters, approximately 5 EA-18G Growler electronic attack jets, 4 E or 2C or E-2D Hawkeye airborne early warning planes, and 2 C-2A Greyhound transports. The Air Wing also includes 19 MH-60 helicopters based both on the Roosevelt and her escorts. In other words, the Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group consists of 49 fighters or fighter-like jets and 590 missile silos, each carrying 1 or more missiles. This is a tremendous amount of firepower, equaling that of a small country. It makes Theodore Roosevelt one of the best protected ships in the world, but also makes the Big Stick the biggest target. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, CVN-71, is a Nimitz-class carrier and was the 4th ship of 10 built. As a class, they currently are the largest nuclear-powered capital ships in service, not only in the USN, but in the world. The aircraft carrier group allows the United States to protect its superpower status anywhere on the globe to protect her interests and those of her allies. TR, or the Big Stick as she's referred to by her crew, has an official call sign, Rough Rider, named after President Roosevelt's cavalry unit in the Spanish-American War. President Roosevelt believed in using the fleet to project power by showing the flag, sending the Atlantic Squadron to Morocco, and later the Great White Fleet to circumnavigate the globe. The display of naval might continues today, embodied in the Nimitz class and her air squadrons, support ships, and submarines. On October 31, 1981, construction began when Secretary of Defense Weinberger initiated the first keel weld of Theodore Roosevelt. On October 25, 1986, Theodore Roosevelt was placed in active service at a cost of $4.5 billion in 2007 dollars. Nimitz, being the first ship in the class, would be shock tested prior to deployment. This was not done until Theodore Roosevelt was built. Explosive charges were set at various depths and distances, then detonated beneath her hull. This simulated mines and torpedo explosions. The required shock testing, in addition to the standard tests that all newly commissioned ships endure, such as high-speed runs and turns, are referred to as the shakedown cruise. Because of extensive changes and upgrades between the first 3 ships of the class Nimitz, Eisenhower, and Vinson, TR and the 6 subsequent ships are officially called the Theodore Roosevelt class aircraft carriers in some naval quarters. The Air Group is the largest department on board TR, charged with the launching and recovering of high-performance tactical aircraft on the 4.5-acre flight deck. To safely accomplish this enormous task, 17 officers and 584 enlisted men and women operating the Air Group are needed around the clock. The flight deck is the most dangerous area of the Navy except for an actual combat zone. This is due to aircraft being launched and recovered by more than 200 crew members assigned on flight deck duty per shift. During the course of deployment, the crew will launch and recover nearly 10,000 sorties, often operating around the clock. More than 40,000 aircraft moves will be performed on the flight and hangar decks. Fueling the embarked aircraft and ships in the TR battle group will require the pumping of more than 20 million gallons of jet fuel. Currently, TR has 90 fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters.